Yeah, now let's see what this does right here. But that's the link.
You can't drop the link. It's not going to show.
Let's
Just
see
say
that.
hi.
Yeah.
Okay. Now do you see him, Jesse?
Let's see. Mental pancakes I seen Tarek. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. No, I don't. For some reason, did you comment on YouTube?
Yeah, he did. Can you make
I did. I also put it in the private chat, Jesse. You can copy it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll put it here on.
Sorry to be a pain, but
no, it's not.
I want to reach the audience.
Come
the
on,
audience is amazing. You guys are all so amazing, and
the least I could do for a friend, brother.
I love it.
Yeah. So got you.
And it's good you put it there because for some reason, even if you comment on in StreamYard, it doesn't go to Rumble, but we're now starting to see the Rumble comments, which we never used to see. I can bring them up.
I just saw it pop up. Nice. Awesome.
All right. I just subscribed to you. Nice.
Thank you, Cynthia. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
The live stream of consciousness.
Critical thinking about love, thinking about why we're here, all that stuff.
Tell us about your podcast Thursdays.
It's Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I have lots of cool guests, kind of like Jesse. It started out because I had joined, I was kind of on this spiritual journey, and I was meeting a lot of like psychic mediums and Akashic records readers and people who were channeling, other entities, and it was all so interesting to me. But it all was like coming from the same place. It all seemed to have the same source to it. And so I just started having these conversations with these people, and then it opened up to artists and musicians. And I've had Tommy Chong on the show, who you've had on your show. I've had authors like Lori Ladd on the show. I've had people like Flat Earth Dave on the show, just amazing conversations with people. Imagine, talking to Flat Earth Dave, whether you believe the earth is round or the earth is flat, and just not fighting and getting like asking him what his definition of the soul was. You know what I mean? It was like, that's just a different conversation than an argument. It's all trying to come from the same place and trying to find common ground, with everything. And I think, I think that the world is about to change in ways we can't even perceive. And you can be afraid of it and go that way, because that's one way to go, or you can love it and know that there's hope, and know that as humans, we are one, and we are everything. We are love. We are the answer. So that's the direction I'm going, and that's what the podcast is all about.
Right on. Well, thanks for sharing. And yeah, it's like people get to choose whether they want to embrace this with love or with, anything but.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, I've got to go. My girlfriend and her son are about to be here. I'm going to spend some family time.
Tell her say hi. Big hugs from all of us here at the Missing Link.
Awesome. I love you guys.
Nice
Have a great night, everybody. Good to be here. Thanks.
Oh, Jesse.
How are you doing? Wow, lots of drama for you, lots of energy. Wow,
I mean, Jesse, I'm trying.
You out there to just woo.
Jesse, it's so interesting because I don't even understand it all, but I know when I step into rooms, I understand that I have a presence. And I wish I could dull it some, because I do sense that it comes with a lot of chaos. Like, I don't know how to balance it out.
Breathe as much as possible.
Like, I mean, wanting to go across people's heads. So and I'm just like, why? Yes, I am in the States. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Go Texas.
If this helps you at all, just remember, when you hear some of that or feel some of that or whatever comes at you, take one deep breath, or three. It was my favorite, especially if it's shaking the, inner type of energy, right? 3 deep breaths before you respond. And then you'll just have instead of an instant what they're asking for response, you'll have a more, centered response without, being triggered at all by people.
Freedom. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't
People
under
paint narratives in their head and they want those narratives to be true. And it's really sad because they really are trying to manifest a narrative of something they don't want them to be. It's fucking weird. It's
no,
like
it's
people
not.
pick that energy of the exact opposite of what they want that person, to be, and that's what they project. It's
I hate it because it makes me not want to be the full me, because I feel like if y'all just like me, like if some of you really don't like me when I'm just a little bit of me, y'all really won't like me when I'm truly me. And I hate that. I hate that. There's a lot of manipulation I sense going on, and I'm like, why? But I guess it's part of the world.
it's the beast, right? It's this shaitan energy, this accuser, opposer energy. It has a life. So people have a choice whether they're going to feed it or whether they're going to be above it. So I
Mhm.
rather be above that, satanic energy to bring you down, show the real dirty inside of you. It's like, that's not what I want to be associated too much with, right? I definitely have to keep my distance from, certain things because I have to protect my energy. And you know that the beast is out there. You see it feeding between people, and most of the beast is calling the ones that call themselves the most righteous.
And they don't play fair. Like they try to take it to the spiritual world. And when they come on to the metaversal world, they'll be, oh, look at me, I'm so good, you're so bad. But in the background, because you're a spiritual person, you know the spiritual warfare they're throwing on you, and you're like, you're not even playing right. And that's what I'm always concerned about. That's so weird that you say that when I think you are that.
You protect your energy, Jesse. I just I love. I know what God is. I know God. I know God is love, so I love. I protect it. I feel protected. I'm always protected. I live in protection. I love God. I love the angels around me, the protection I've received, the energy that this whole the earthly existence has been for me so far. I don't know what the difference. I don't know how not it's protected. Like I don't see it not protected. I'm not ever not protected. I don't know. I guess that's an answer to it.
I always have good thoughts. I truly have a lot of love. Before I started coming onto the panel, I've always been a part of YouTube. But like I said, I have a lot of plants, and I love my plants. I put love into them, but I had placed them all around my apartment, just like in front of every single window I had. And when all of this started happening, I started noticing that like my plants were protecting from a lot of the energy coming in. And because I had put so much love into them, like my house, I felt has a barrier of love around it. It's People will try to make you think negative thoughts about yourself, about situations, but you really have to always have a good heart and a good thoughts. And that alone right there, nothing can love wins all. But you have to have that love in your heart. So that's where it starts.
God is love. And the
Yeah.
more you know love, the more you know God, the more you want to search God, the more love is in your heart. It's a simple equation. They do everything in the power. This beast, Shaitan, does whatever to get people away from that balance, that love. They just, as we see it's, oh, look at it. Hi.
Hi. Are they in
So
Hawaii?
nice. So nice to see you. No, she's at.
We can't hear you, but we just want to say hi. We love you guys.
We love you
Shout out
so
for
much.
anyone in Edmonton if they want to come hang out. Let me know.
All right, if anybody's in Edmonton, let us know. They're actually having a nice time out. So,
Yes. Whoa,
oh,
she
that's
looks so
so
cute and
awesome. That
happy,
makes me
exciting.
she's so beautiful. We live in different cities, right? So,
Mhm.
I she's out with her friend, and I love seeing her beautiful face. She just lights my heart up so much. Like that love that
Love
I've,
you.
that I know, like the God's love is, like accentuated through her. Like I'd never had that much of love and connection, and just such a beautiful feeling that she's the most precious, kindest, most beautiful soul I ever met in my life.
I know, and she's had such a rough backstory. So just to hear her story and just to see her strength now is just like to see her having this joy for a moment. It just warms my heart. And this is what I mean, like love. Like I truly have love in my heart. And sometimes people will be jealous of when they see love and maybe they don't have it, and that just creates a jealousy. Like you gotta overcome that. Like you just have to always be in your love state. Doesn't mean life's perfect. It doesn't mean you don't have problems. It just means you have love.
100%. And like Andrea says here, I felt love in my heart even while breaking up a bar fight last Saturday night. So whenever a bar fight happens around me, the first thing I do is I stand in between everybody that I'm with and the commotion, right? I'm the wall, so nobody behind me is getting hurt. And then a lot of times I gravitate right towards the altercation, and I'll like stand sometimes right in the middle of them. And they don't know whose side I'm on, and I'm like, could potentially, I guess, be an intimidating force, and so they think I'm with the other people, and they just dissipate, and like, and
Yes.
like it's amazing how just standing up when this angst and energy is going on, and they see somebody that it would really piss me off if you guys ruined my night right now, and so I just make sure, and it just, things dissipate, and it's a cool feeling.
When you have there's been several times like when I worked at the club, like people would get lost, like they would get left. Like how do you go to the club and just forget your partner? Like I don't never understood that, but I was always the person. Like keep in mind the club closed at 4:00 in the morning, but I was always the person who's like, hey, do you need a ride home? To the complete stranger, and I was always giving them a ride home. And people would always be like, oh my God, you could have been raped, you could have been killed, you could have been robbed. And that never is a thought in my mind. Like when you just step in love, you just don't always see that. And that doesn't mean you're so naive. Like you just know you're protected. You're protected.
Yeah, your intuition, you're protected. Yeah. You wouldn't get yourself. You wouldn't do that if you felt like there was any energy that you thought. Then you just trusted love, trusted yourself, trusted God, and you're good.
And anytime I tell these stories, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you could have been killed. That could have been this," and I'm like, oh, "You're so right." And then I'm like, "Wait, why did I let y'all affect me?" And I'm careful not to share stories like that anymore, because I don't want to change who I am. And people always want to change who you are. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I gave this guy a ride. Like I hitchhikers and stuff, when I have an empty seat and I see somebody, I'll pick them up, right? Because I'm like big and strong. I don't have to worry a lot less than, someone who's not. And so I give them rides and stuff. And this one guy picked up this native guy, he convinced me to buy him a thing of alcohol, right? So we went to the liquor store, and as I was there, he stole my sunglasses. Not only did I pick this guy up, take him to the liquor store, he was having problems with this woman and all this kind of stuff, and he wanted to go see her. I couldn't take him all the way. I just brought him up to Calgary, and he convinced me to get him a bottle. It'll help me with my walk. And so he stole my sunglasses. I couldn't believe it. I was like, after I dropped him off, and then I'm like, look here, my sunglasses are gone. I was like so sad that you could help someone and be so kind, and they would, while you're at the store buying something for them, take the sunglasses.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, but it's different. But I'm just learning how to control it, because I can bring it out of people without even trying.
And this is a way like before, when I still drank alcohol, because I'd never buy anybody any alcohol like that anymore. I just know the spirits of it. Like I just see what the alcohol does. It's, that satanic beast energy. As much as people say I'm cool and I can handle it, it's just got this vibration to it. Seen so much nasty things around it.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker. I always say like the Mexicans get mad at me. Even when I go to a Mexican party and they hand me a drink, I'll be like, I don't drink. They're like, like it's bad that I don't drink, but I'm not a big drinker. Like I don't like the headaches. I'm like, why am I paying for this headache? I can save my money and not have a headache. That's a win-win to me.
I stopped when I was around 40.
Mhm.
And I would like, drink. And, once I hit 2 or 3, I had to like continue on until I had like 30 sometimes even more. I remember we went to,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I've drank more than that, but we took a plane and we went to Vancouver to just hang out and party with the weekend. It was this guy that I was working with, him and his girlfriend. And we were all dressed in really nice suits. He's an older Oriental guy, but they're, kind of high class. So we went to this nice restaurant and I asked him, I said, hey, I'm like, what's like a really, really nice drink? I go, they like their shooters. And so he gets this drink and it comes out green. And it was called the Incredible Hulk. And it was so good that it became my drink. Mostly it was Hennessy and Hypnotic, right? It was the mix of both because Hypnotic's a cognac, so it goes really well with Hennessy and it turns green. So they call it the Incredible Hulk. And it was the best drink that I had ever drank in my entire life. So after we had about 3 or 4 shooters there, and I had a couple beers, and they ended up going back to the hotel, and I went and I have met some friends of mine in Vancouver, and they took me to this club, and I went to the bar and I said, can I get 3 shots of Hennessy and 3 shots of Hypnotic? And can you put it into a big glass with some ice? And so I ended up, these shooters that he got, I ended up having 6 of them. Well, I ended up having 6 of them that were like weird number. I ended up having 36 shooters that night. And plus the whatever 3. I was at this after, like I'm a dance hall reggae guy and I know how to dance really, really well. Like when I was in Dallas, I ended up going to the club and 5 nice females came back to the hotel with me from my dancing in that club that I went to. But I was dancing this reggae dancing and I was so down like by the floor with this liquor. I've never danced so low to the floor, like, when you're bent backwards before in my life. And all these girls dancing around me where I'm dancing almost on like the floor bent backwards. It was like the craziest thing that these 36 shooters, I never danced anything like that in my life. It was like the crazy back contortionist style, but it was fun. Had definitely a great night, but that was the drinking. Holy, I would never dance like that without 36 shooters in me, right? So that night was like probably 40 or plus drinks and stuff.
Yeah, no. I know I couldn't drink that much. Now I used to drink a drink called a Scooby-Doo snack, but it had melon. I just looked up the recipe. It had rum and melon liquor. So that was pretty good. That was a green drink too.
My friends called it toxic Kool-Aid because it tasted like Kool-Aid, and you got like, especially if you just like, didn't know how strong it was because it tastes so good, right? Everywhere I traveled to, like when I was like traveling around like to lots of places, I'd just get a bottle of Hennessy and a bottle of water, and I would drink the water, be hot, and then I would like pour the Hennessy into the water, and then I would just drink with my bottle of water, and I'd be drinking Hennessy. They try to give you all these free sugary gross drinks and shit. Before I stopped drinking, I just drank all my liquor with water, and I never, first time in my life, the last few years before I stopped, I got to know what the actual tastes of the alcohols was without all these sugar and all this craziness nonsense. You could taste like the wood inside of like the wood kind of taste. It was kind of really neat. But It's just Hennessy and Hypnotic. When I went to Jamaica, I duty free. I bought a bottle of Hennessy and Hypnotic. And I show up at my buddy's house in Jamaica. This Jamaican guy that was in Toronto moved to Calgary. I befriended him and helped him, get his first hair cutting place. And then he had a big hair cutting salon in Fort McMurray when the Fort McMurray fires. Then he brought a bunch of Jamaicans, came and stayed in the house. They were in a gymnasium and they stayed in the house that I was renting with these other guys that we gave him that room or whatever. It was kind of crazy, but I show up at his house on his birthday with Hennessy and Hypnotic in Jamaica, and I pour this all, make this big drink for everybody. Wow, was that ever a wild night. We ended up at some reggae club and I was singing reggae in Jamaica at the club and stuff. It was such a wild night. It was on his birthday, and my buddy, I wanted to smoke a joint. My buddy was like so mad. This was quite a few years ago, maybe like 12 or 13 years ago. When it wasn't legal at all in Jamaica, and I was gonna smoke a joint with somebody outside of that club down there, and he was like not having it. When I was in Jamaica with him, he said I had to have a security everywhere I went, right? Like somebody had to go with me everywhere. But Angelina and I just went to Jamaica and we traveled. We rented a car and went through the whole. We went through the whole country. It went everywhere, even Bob Marley's museum where they shot a hole in the wall. We saw that hole. We walked through it. That was in Kingston, and we just traveled, just the two of us. We were at his house, and then I got another friend that got a real private spot, like the most private spot on Jamaican Island. He's got a big, 30-acre sheep farm there, and so we got to stay there and had our own private beach with this black rock.
I saw
black rock sand. Oh, it's just like whoa! Yeah, that was pretty wild.
What up, homie?
What up?
Hey, did you bring some of that black rock sand back?
No, we actually didn't. It was at the kind of the beginning of the trip, so I wasn't thinking about bringing back sand at all. But that would have been such a smart idea. Wish someone would have said that on the live set.
I get those Christmas ornaments that are empty, and I always pick up sand everywhere I go, and then I put the sand in the Christmas ornament, and I'll write where it was.
Oh, that's so amazing!
Yeah, that's what I thought of it.
Joe, did you bring the blunts?
I forgot. When you were saying you stopped drinking, do you smoke? That's why I keep camming down. I don't want y'all. Do you smoke though, right, Jess?
Yeah, but not very frequent. Most of the time, only when I do the dancing right now. So when you see me dancing live is when I'll smoke a joint, but otherwise I'm not smoking any. I've smoked, cannabis since I was probably 18 for most of my life, but not every day. There's even been a time where I've went months and even I think maybe 1 year or 2 years where I didn't. I just wanted to have a clear mind and head and stuff, but I don't like to smoke it all day long because I like to have this life without being stoned all the time.
It's weird about it, but. Yeah, a lot of people say that, but it actually I'm super super hyper, and so it calms me down enough to actually get everything done. People hate when they get high with me because I'm always like, come on, let's clean, let's do something, and they're like, no, and I'm like, yes. So I've learned to do it by myself because
your mic's really quiet, Joe.
Oh,
I turned it up as high as it goes, but you're still kind of quiet. So
I don't think he's really make you aware. Yet.
Oh no! Sorry, that's sorry.
All right, is it better?
Yeah, no. My bad. I turned you all the way up, but my headphones. I had these I bought a whole studio and stuff with keyboard and drum machine and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
To produce music and these DJ gear and stuff. So I got these really nice AKG studio headphones that I've had for probably 6 or 7 years. They're really expensive for when it comes to headphones, and the leather around them started to fall off. It all started to peel, and that was the first part. And then just recently, I went to pick them up, and it snapped. I couldn't believe it. So hard, and these expensive headphones that I bought, even though it's been a wild time, 6 years. They snapped in half. So I ended up getting these new headphones, but it doesn't have the DJ type of cord. But the cord, with the other ones, they actually plugged into something that you had to screw in. This one just plugs into it, but sometimes it goes out. So sometimes I think that the voice is a little bit soft. I did that in a meditation. I couldn't hear the meditation, so I changed it right while everybody was meditating. That wasn't the best.
That's how you learned. That's how you learned. I had the same shit with some headphones. They started peeling. It turns out that you can order them, and they pop off, and you can put new ones on. I didn't know that, but I found out that they were peeling, and I tried to come up with something. And then after I got them replaced, they snapped. I'm like, oh, it's just like yours, bro.
So, what are the best headphones that y'all have found? The cheaper ones?
No, the fucking what's the Dre, those Beats? I ain't found nothing that beat those. And I had some good ones and some all different kinds. And I would say, pretty much you get what you pay for. You pay for something decent. They're all absolutely amazing. But then I don't know. They tailored them Beats for guys like me who like to hit the bottom and all of that shit. Don't nothing beat that. Because those are thugs shit.
I used to buy my son's the Bose. I never would buy the
Bose was incredible. Yeah, I used to have some of those.
Very good quality sound.
I bought the Bose for the kids.
That's more adult shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, y'all don't get Beats. Y'all are boys. Bose. What's up, Simon?
Hi, Simon.
What's up?
That's good.
Oh, you're quiet. Let me put yours.
Uh-oh, here we go.
How's mine?
Oh, no, I hear yours. That time I could still hear good. Okay, I turned yours all the way up, Simon. Let's hear it.
That's some fast language, Keith.
Oh, yeah,
so that's quick. I'm not that smart. Say that again?
No, I couldn't hear you so well, and I just turned up your volume, and I was just asking you to just say something so that way we could hear you, and now we can hear you good.
What are you talking about? So what's the topic? Lights of the round table?
Yeah, this is the lights of the round table. We're all shining lights, beautiful rays of sunshine or whatever you want that light to be.
Mm-hmm.
What topic you bringing up? Are you doing a blunt? I've never seen Joe do a blunt. I've only seen Joe do the pipes. What about you, Simon? Do you blow trees? Do you like to blow trees?
I don't smoke shit. No way. No way, Jose. I find it real weird that old niggas actually smoking.
Wow.
So today's
actually I was expecting smoke blunts. That was the end of the statement. Okay.
How do you expect to have a relationship when you're doing that sort of stuff? Because you're always gonna have a drug dealer around the house.
You talking about me? I probably got a better relationship than you.
He lives with his girlfriend. He's always talking about her.
That's weird, man.
You definitely do there, brother.
That shit don't smoke blunts. Jesse might got me beat, but I do pretty good.
Yeah.
Los Angeles or whatnot, right?
They're always together. What are you talking about, Simon?
Everywhere we go.
They could be together in a garbage can.
And we'd still be okay with that because we're together, bro.
Yeah.
So today is day 2 of fasting. So last I ate was Thursday around 6 p.m. And before, obviously I like to dance and exercise. I do a little bit. I smoked a little blunt and then had a little bit of oil. But because I haven't eaten in 2 days, usually I do 500 milligrams. And one time I did 750 and it was way too much, right? So I usually do about 500 and it's kind of perfect. But since I haven't eaten a couple of days, I was like, I better not do even 500. I think maybe that might be a little too much. So I just did about 250.
Okay. I mean, you don't have any kids, right?
I do.
How does that affect your kids if you're limiting your resources in terms of?
I never really got to know my daughter because the mom took off when she was pregnant.
No, I mean, like, are you living with your kids?
No.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of different.
Wait, what are you saying? How you can't be? How does smoking affect your parenting? How I don't understand.
Well, if you're not living with your kids, obviously it doesn't, right? Because you can
But I
smoke in
lived
the
with
house.
my kids and smoked. I lived with my kids and smoked. So I'm curious to see
Yeah,
what
but
you're.
that's you being a bad parent. You can't put your kid around smoke because
How's
you
that
don't,
being a bad parent?
because you don't know the effect of what that's going to happen. Like, you
But did I tell you I smoked in the room with them? Did I tell you that? Or you just assumed it.
are you trying to be touchy with me?
No, but that was always the secondhand smoke was something I always thought about. So I always made sure to do it out on the patio when they were home. So that was something. So
I can
that
tell you smoke just by your
yeah, but
raspy voice.
you
You got a
can't say
raspy voice, like so.
you can't
like, I
say
can tell you
someone
smoke.
that smokes is a bad parent. Like you just can't
He
say.
he must, right? Because he don't smoke, so he's got to find some ill in it. He's
I didn't
using
say I
niggas who
don't
smoke
smoke.
to find some ill right now.
I didn't say I don't smoke. I didn't say that.
Oh,
And
okay.
neither one of my kids smoked. Neither one of them picked it up.
All right,
So
Cynthia. All right, I see where you're going with this.
you see, Jesse? You see, Jesse? You see what I'm talking about, Jesse? They don't want to see me be great.
But this is Simple Simon. He doesn't really like to be so simple when he comes up with these panels. So
I just like a giggle. I like a giggle. I like the fact that we can banter. Okay, so that's all it is. But I'm just saying, if you're treating your children like that, you gotta realize, like, when you're doing that with your children, right? You gotta think about like when they go out into the world, right, and then they meet the next dude who's doing some extraordinary stuff. They think it's okay.
What? That's what I'm saying. My kids don't do that. My kids don't partake in any of
I
this.
You
guarantee
say
that.
treating
I
their kids
guarantee.
like that. I
I
don't even know what
guarantee
that
they're doing that.
means.
I guarantee they're doing that because we all
No,
did
they
it.
don't. No, they
You
don't.
wanna believe that? Okay, cool.
Bro, you don't know the relationship I have with my kids.
All right. How old are your kids?
33 and 27.
Are they smoking have smoked?
They have we've smoked. They smoke with me. One of them does it makes him super paranoid, so he doesn't do it at all, and he didn't do that since he was a child. And then the other one, like maybe twice a year, we might do something together if like I maybe.
You shouldn't do nothing together. You're hurt. You're the
You think
parent.
I'm gonna let a total stranger put something in my kid's mouth before I do?
You have no
You don't
control
think my
over
kid's
that.
not gonna understand what it is?
You have no control over that.
No, for real. You don't think like my kid came home one time was somebody had sold him soil and told him it was just the dirt grain. And I said, no, y'all gonna always know what good is. Y'all gonna know what to look for. Y'all gonna know how it should smell and educated them.
Respectfully, like, did you just hear what you just said?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna allow someone to put something in your child's mouth
Right.
without your no.
Yeah.
So what? Wait a minute. What do women do every day?
Wake up
and put something in their mouth. Okay.
What?
Now
What are you saying?
I don't know yet.
Me either. Rocky, I'm actually happy to see you, and I like your little bandana that you got going on today. Looks like you're here. Oh, okay. Looks like you're here to start a ninja, and I should be. Is this an and one bandana?
And one, yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, Rocky.
Okay.
Okay. I see what type of party Rocky came to. I see what type of time Rocky's on. Okay.
And he lights up a smoke at the perfect time.
I shaved my head. You like it?
Yeah, you look awesome.
Can you make him
Rocky.
main screen so we can see it for a second,
Sure.
please? Thank you. You did
That's
not.
a stocking
That's
cap.
the
You're
cap.
trying to trick me.
That's the cap. Just like you're a cap, Rocky.
He's thinking about how he could make himself. What's going down? You
Oh
thinking
my
about?
god! Look at you, Rocky. Look what happened.
Are you sure about your pension? He's lost it, man. Jesus Christ.
You looked cool with your cap on, though, Rocky. You did look cool.
Nah,
Wow, this is weird. Oh wow, thanks.
there's only one person
So many
that's
different
cool up
kinds
there.
of
That's
weird
the
in this world.
This is my Viking.
I
My
like
Viking.
that.
The furry
Yeah.
wool.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
That's
I don't
This
even
is
know
nice.
what that is. Look like a pelt
It's
from a something.
That ain't worth shit right now. That ain't worth shit, man. Apart from your own comfort, okay? If you can scratch your back against it and it makes you feel comfortable, good. You ain't gonna sell
Put
that shit
everything
to
into it. What are you talking about,
scratch my
Simon?
back.
You're putting everything
No one's
into his
buying that
heart.
shit.
Man, that's his
Simon,
stuff. Why
look,
would you
I
say
can
something like
scratch
that
my back.
to him?
Really? So if he came into your life and he presented that to you, are you literally gonna go? I'm gonna take it at you know,
Speak
I
lady.
like
plainly, bruh.
I
Speak
like that,
plainly.
Rocky. I like your
I would actually, if he gave that to me, I would probably put it somewhere with my like camping stuff, and I would have it for when I went camping, something nice to put on while I was by the fire and stuff. That'd be super cool. Yeah, I would love
super
that.
cool.
That's worth a lot. Like that's
That's
beautiful.
super cool.
Maybe
I'd
not
be
you, but everybody
I,
doesn't have to have the same view of things as you, brother.
no,
And
I get
just
that.
because
I'm
it's
just
a
saying
gift.
I'm gonna have to find a dry cleaners. I'm gonna have to find out where that's been before because it
Wow.
look kind of clean, but it ain't.
They say the first thing I'm gonna do is wash that motherfucker.
The gift comes with conditions.
Wow.
It's a sheep hide.
Hey, no shade. I'm just saying.
Nice.
Steep, okay.
It's a sheep.
Ah.
Sheep are brown.
So that's
A
wool.
lamb hide,
You can't put Hoover over that shit, man.
whatever you want to call it.
Very
Oh
good.
no,
Nice,
like,
Rocky. That's
Yes.
nice.
we don't have
Yeah.
smell-o-vision. We don't have smell-o-vision. We have
My neighbor raises them, and then he skins them once in a while. He gave me a few of them.
Nice, Rocky.
Yeah.
How many does he
They
have?
got
if
brown
you
ones
mind saying?
and white ones, and then this is wool, so
Right.
you can make stuff out of the wool.
Right.
Right. So they have brown wool, white wool, and then if you want to dye white wool,
Mm.
you can dye it blue. Blue is
Have you
the
ever-
royal
have you ever
color.
actually done that before in your own life?
My
I
wife
have
does.
the wool. I have that wool making kit. Like they have.
Wait a second. I'm asking them a question. Like, have you actually done that? Like, because it takes a bit of time, right? Have you actually
My
dyed?
wife. We got
I'm
neighbors
not
that
talking about your
spin
wife. I'm
wool.
talking about you. I'm talking about you. Have you actually done that? No, is the
Yeah, I
answer.
did about 4 inches of it once.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the little kit to make the wool little balls because I was making some wool for a DIY project. So that's really nice, Rocky. I like it.
That is, and it seemed like wool is worth something as opposed to Simon talking about it's worth nothing to anyone but you. Now it suddenly looks kind of priceless.
My neighbor sells them for $300.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't,
Wow.
I didn't
Exact
say
opposite of what you said there, Simon.
Remove foot from mouth.
Basically use
No.
it
I
to
didn't
hide
say
out.
it worth
How
nothing.
tall is it, Rocky? How much?
I didn't say that.
Oh
Sounds
yeah, you
like
said it ain't worth nothing to
Worth
nobody
nothing.
No,
but
I said
yourself.
you didn't actually go through the process. You said
You
your
also
wife-
said it ain't worth nothing. When he first showed it to
What
you, said it ain't
process?
worth nothing to nobody other than yourself.
What process you talking about?
So I got a good story about sheep. So a friend has this acreage in front of where the Hutterites live. And so we're at his house. He has a hot tub and, partying at his house. So this was like quite a few years ago. And on the next door is like acreage is this giant Hutterite colony. Hutterite is like Amish for you Americans. I think you guys call them Amish.
Thank you. I didn't know.
instead of Hutterites, right?
Okay.
And so they'd come over and get drunk with my buddy because they would do their chores or whatever, and they liked my buddy that lived at the acreage over. I don't know, maybe not so easy to get drunk on their place. He'd come drunk at his house all the time. So I got to meet these guys, and they said I can come to their colony anytime. So I went over there, and when the sheep were actually having babies, and they had like 50 like mothers having babies at the same time.
Wow.
So I got to watch the actual circle of life and how
Very
it
good.
was born, and how the mother sheep, you have to watch at all times, because when there's that many sheep, if the mother separates from the kid at any time, then they might not find each other, might not have that connection, that the one
Oh,
might
wow.
die. So they have to watch
Oh.
the sheep and guide them into pens when, you know, like when it comes out. So someone has to be 24/7 on duty. And I got to watch the 3 or 4 being born, and just
I
watching
can't
that
read
cycle
that.
of life was just so amazing. It's backwards there. Maybe you should read that to us.
Can you read it, Rocky? We can't read it. It's backwards.
A treatise on arrest and false imprisonment.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, exactly. Most people like do this shit. Like they bring up stuff, right? Not being no shade to your platform, bro. But most people bring up stuff and they don't actually know what the hell it means. Please tell me. You keep bringing up stuff. All right, yeah, I got this. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, okay.
Life
right.
without usury.
Oh, usury is so bad. If one thing was satanic energy, would be usury for sure. That shit's
Yeah.
got to be outlawed. All the fucking interest on loans is illegal. That should be gone. Like that's
Immoral
ridiculous.
as well.
People are making money off of fucking
can't
lending
read
people stuff that comes out of thin air,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion.
Well, this dude, like, you gotta be careful because it's like people just bring up shit, like, and they don't really know what they're talking about. To be fair,
Yeah, we see that example sometimes.
Bible Law Index. Simon, I would assume just by the stuff that he's reading, he knows something about something.
no, you can be a fanatic, okay? Like you can have a whole comic book collection, but that don't mean you understand the value of the comic books. And this
But
is
it
what I-
doesn't mean he doesn't, though.
what I
But it
keep on
doesn't mean
missing.
we don't.
Odds are, if you got a collection, you know a lot
No,
about
no.
it.
All,
Right.
look, the thing is like someone will speak on something and understand what they're talking about. All he's doing is putting up fucking like books he's collected. Now he could be a hoarder, as far as I'm concerned.
What? Why
Yeah.
are you saying these things about Rocky, Simon? Like you don't need to be insulting towards
Now
him.
you're just being personal. I don't know who Rocky is. I don't
Yeah,
even know his name.
you know he's
This
gonna
target,
insult
I'm
people.
one of the
That's
target
what he
first.
does.
That's
I did this
Rocky.
shit
I've got a
for,
whole
you
different
guys
perspective.
talking about this First
I
Amendment
don't know.
audits, being arrested.
I don't
I'm showing
know.
you that
I've
I knew
never
about this 30 fucking years ago. I've been studying this shit. So, and it's
Yeah, well, I don't care, and I don't know.
but the main
Well, you
thing
made
has
the statement that niggas be bringing shit up that they don't know nothing
all
about.
those laws are in the Bible. They got the laws. in
So why
here.
don't he speak on it then? Why is he just putting up
I'll show you.
pictures and
It's
shit?
Rocky. This is
Tell us
how
about
Rocky
it.
Is he
is.
autistic or some shit? I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're
No,
telling me he's this educated and he knows what he's talking about, well,
yeah, you
no,
can't age
he's
it. You
acting like
can't
a 6-year-old right
you can't educate an
Just
arrogant
like
motherfucker.
Rocky,
You have
it's
to
just like
humble
that.
yourself, and you big mouth motherfuckers that just want to talk and yab and criticize people, telling them
Yeah.
that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You just
Yeah,
That's not
fucking-
nice.
you
you
get
can't humble
butthurt
yourself because
real
you're a
quick.
fucking arrogant little motherfucker. That's what you are,
Yeah.
arrogant little mother is all you
You see
are.
how you do that? You
Don't
see how
know
you do that?
shit about
You see how you
squat.
do
Just
that?
grab your mouth off.
Why are you so scared to just put your face up and actually talk? You want to hide your face behind something
You ain't
at your
afraid
age?
of you.
Yeah, that
How
was
old
it.
are you? How old are you, bro? Come on, let's be real. I'm not trying to like dox
You
you.
should
Or
humble
anything. I'm trying to-
yourself and listen to your elders once in a while, you punk ass little whiner.
I don't know about all the punk ass whining. Actually,
Talking
maybe I
shit.
do. But
Yeah.
if you
Come
had
up
a
to my house.
sincerely
I don't
wanted
care
to
if
know,
younger than
you-
me, I'll
if-
still kick your ass.
if you knew Simon had some better social
Oh,
skills
damn.
and moved around better, instead of the way your approach was, you would have simply said, "Can you tell me about the book?" That would have been much smoother. You look better now. I'm not sure why
The thing is, it's like,
your
look,
introduction must be negative all the time.
yo, I'm just saying, missing link, right? I'm just saying, this is like Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark. Okay, some people feel like they have an over sort of understanding of what life looks like. Okay,
Be specific. Are you talking about anybody
But how do you?
specific?
But how do you know? You just come here and right away you pick, and you want to just put this person. You pick different targets and put people off guard, and you say some really wild and sometimes even mean shit.
You started off with me being
how-
too old
how
to
you-
smoke blunts. Yeah, I
anybody
was
is
smoking weed in
doing
front of
for
her
a
kids.
abuse them. That's not good for communication.
no, because it's a higher realm. So what it is like I'm from that higher realm. Okay, I understand that people ain't gonna fucking appreciate
Did
me.
he just
I do
say I'm the?
understand that.
Did you just say I'm the standard? Did you just say that? Did I hear that correctly?
I didn't say
No, I
that.
didn't
No.
know. I don't know. I didn't hear.
I didn't say that. I said I was speaking to I was speaking to the dude. I wasn't even speaking to you.
What did you say though? Because it sounded like you said
I
I'm
said
the
Some
standard.
people come from a world where it's just like they seem to think that that's their sort of like higher realm, like in terms of like he's got all these documents, and I get it. Like, you know, maybe he studied that for a period of time or whatever. But what I was trying to relate it to, because it was like, you know, it's like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade or some shit. It's like you don't actually know unless you've actually studied this shit. Or you
How do you
actually,
know he hasn't? Are you making an assumption that he
because
has
that's
not?
What does it
mediocre. I
matter
can
to
see.
you? What does it
No,
matter
no,
to you
no.
if he does or
Right.
not?
So, right. Let me answer one question at a time, because what he asked me was, "How do I know?" How do I know? Is because this is mediocre. Okay. I know. Look, I've been a teacher for like 15 years, and I'm a lawyer for
Why are
about
you so
3.
critical though?
Okay.
Why do
So
you have to be so
I
critical
know
of
the
people?
information he's putting up. He's putting up from libraries. This is like
So what?
um
So what? He wants
This
to share it
library
with
is
maybe someone
great,
that's maybe
great
not
resource.
educated as much
You
as you.
dumb
Doesn't mean
motherfucker.
it's not
You
valuable or
dumb
important and it needs to be
motherfucker.
condemned or
These are
criticized.
Bible verses, you dumb motherfucker. This came from one book, you stupid motherfucker.
yeah, and I didn't call you
Well,
a stupid
that's
motherfucker,
not
but
the
at
way
the
to
same
do
time, you
it.
get what I mean?
Well,
It's
I'm
like,
calling
okay,
you,
whatever.
you're accusing me of shit. You don't even know what you're talking about. You
Now you
said I'm
get
bringing up things from
you're
books.
getting hurt.
I'm
You're
not
getting
bringing
hurt.
nothing up from no books. I'm bringing it up from one book. It tells you the law,
You know, when someone starts speaking like this,
how to
all
take
it
care of your
says to me-
animals.
all it says to me is you don't want to learn because you just want to know your own truth.
Children
That's
are to
projection,
honor
yeah.
It
their
says to me
parents.
that you got
Fine.
under his
That's
skin,
fine.
right? It says to me that you got under his skin, like you aggravated a situation.
And that was
you
your
just
intention
nice to
anyway, right?
people.
No, I don't think I got under his skin. He just there are certain people, and the thing is, it's like
You
that's
you
nothing different.
you criticized
wait.
everything I brought up. You criticized my
Chill,
skin.
chill,
You said you
chill,
didn't
bro,
do that.
chill.
That you
Bro,
didn't make
chill.
that.
Right,
You
damn,
criticized
look.
my skin. You criticized everything up the first minute I got up here, motherfucker.
Listen,
And you
there
talk
are
shit.
certain-
You
there
don't
are
know what
certain-
I'm even showing. You think you know what I'm showing, but you don't know what
That's
I'm
not
showing.
great.
Rock, it ain't just you, right? He started off me with your old ass.
You're
I
an
don't see what you
information
get
hoarder. You're
smoking
an
blunts. You
information
can
hoarder.
never have a relationship
like,
if you
at the
smoke
end of the
blunts.
day,
Hold
like,
on,
if
hold
I
on, side with your old
no,
ass.
wait,
Then
no,
you jumped on
interrupt
Cynthia
me.
talking about
No, let
what
me
she
finish.
do in front of
me
her
finish.
kids and shit like that. Then you
No,
moved on to Rocky and said that cheap ass that thing ain't worth shit to nobody
You're not
but
listening.
you and all of that shit to Rocky.
The
You
whole
have
thing
been
is
just
the information age. You don't
It's like
listen.
so. Does he feed off of this chaos? Does he like?
that'd
I
be my
don't understand why
You're not
you
listening.
enjoy
You're not
causing
listening.
chaos.
Look, what
Why
I'm
do you
trying to say
enjoy
is
causing chaos?
we have fed.
Why do you-
We have fed.
this
Historically.
won't have nothing to do with your
Why
question,
do
by the
you
way,
enjoy?
Cynthia.
Okay, I'm
This will
asking
be
you.
at
Why do you
1,000%
enjoy
deflection.
causing
Damn,
chaos?
wow.
I'm trying
Right.
to
Well, I'm gonna
understand.
shut the fuck up.
Hey.
You guys thought. All right, go on.
Did
Like
you,
you know something.
when you grew up, did your parents argue a lot?
I don't have parents.
Oh, okay.
That's a big problem right there.
No, it's not a big problem. My big problem is that
You
you
need a
don't
daddy.
understand.
You should learn from me instead of arguing with me because I'm your elder. You stupid young punk ass bitch.
Yeah, but I've done much better than you, right?
Breathe,
So
please,
who's
Rocky.
supposed to be learning
don't-
from
You
who?
need a good spanking, is what you need. You need someone to spank your
You're
fucking
weird as fuck, man.
dishonorable,
This is why I wouldn't
dishonorable
go-
person coming
this
up
is why
here
I wouldn't
accusing
Yeah,
let
better
everybody
by what
think
matrix?
about this shit.
dishonor. You're dishonored.
I'm
Weird.
sorry, better by
Dishonor
what
everybody else.
metric, right?
That's
Better by
weird
what
as fuck.
metric?
Accusing Joe Cool of shit. I bet you accuse everybody on this panel of some shit already.
You are weird. And you know you're weird.
And he's accurate though, man.
Exactly.
You just
I am
attacking
weird.
He has
motherfuckers
a
left and
cool
right.
Weird as fuck.
He has a cool
Weird as
crop
fuck.
he's using.
That's a compliment from someone like you because you don't know what is normal. I'm normal. You're the fucking weirdo.
All right. Okay. All right. So what is your last bank tell? Like in terms of your earnings for
Ooh, if I make more money, I'm better than you. Do your
What did
thing,
you
Phil.
say? Did you really just ask him that?
yeah.
What does that matter to you? Like
Because
that's such a
What's the measure
disgusting
of a
question.
man?
It's such a disgusting question to ask somebody on this panel right now.
No, it's not at all because this dude
Is
is
he
an
trying to
elder.
judge me by my
What does
wealth?
it matter?
Are you
What does
trying
it
to
matter?
judge
Look,
me
Do
by
you?
my wealth?
by preference, it shouldn't be a case. He's older than me. He looks like double my fucking age.
Who
Like,
cares?
so it
Who
shouldn't
cares?
be.
Why are you so
I
critical of
wouldn't say
others?
double.
Why
I
would you
wouldn't
be
say
so
double.
critical of others? Not even close to double.
Why am I so critical of others? Because he's
Yeah.
been critical of me, and he don't even know where the fuck I've come from or
Who
where the fuck I've come
Who started the whole
You
criticism,
initiated it.
dude? You start
started
shit and you
out-
depend me to sit
Start
here
talking
and
about like, have I
take
got a
your
mother?
crap.
Have I got a father? And he does not know that my mother died when I was 16 years old. And he's putting up some stupid fucking preferences in terms of his
That's
fucking face.
bullshit.
Like,
Get
so I
over it,
didn't
man.
say, like,
My
that's
that was
mom and my
after
dad.
Ashley
don't
been an
really-
ass. Jesse, I
That
got arrested.
that don't
My mom
talk
just
shit
died.
about you.
My mom was murdered by
That don't-
COVID.
Yeah, you,
by fucking
that
COVID,
ain't shit
motherfucker.
to me.
You
That ain't
don't
shit to me,
fucking
nigga.
make. I'm not gonna
That
feel sorry
really
because your
is-
mommy's dead. Grow up.
Oh,
Don't blame
your
everything
mom-
on your parents
oh,
and your
how old-
mommy.
Okay, so how old was she when she died of COVID?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to bring it
No,
up.
it doesn't matter because you're being
You should
stupid.
grow up, man.
That's the
Stop
thing. No, you
living
need
in
to
the
grow up because
past.
you're a
Live in the
child.
future,
You're a
bro.
child in an adult's body, and this is what the problem is with society.
Bully, you the one came up bullying me. This old man was just came in and you start
You're not
everything
an old
about
man.
me.
You're a young boy in an old man's body. That's what you are. Because you can't even fucking have a real fucking conversation. You want to turn around and
Okay,
start
let's
talking
have a
about,
real conversation.
you know, you've had so
Okay.
many privileges in your life, but you can't fucking.
Oh
even-
yeah, I work for my shit, bitch. Why don't you
All right,
fucking
so-
go work
Well,
somewhere?
all right. So what's the
Stop
real
crying and all shit.
what's the real
What are you
name of a
doing?
daffodil?
Waiting on your
What's the real
check
name of a
in the
daffodil?
mail.
What's
You
the
waiting
real
on your
name?
check in the
What's the
mail.
real name of a daffodil?
I'm 65 years old, motherfucker, and
don't
I'm
know shit,
retired.
nigga. When you
I'm
grow up,
retired and
you had the
I work
privilege
more.
of- You don't know shit about life.
Fuck you.
You don't know shit about life.
shit. Fuck
Yeah,
that
you
shit.
don't. You don't.
I grew up a poor motherfucker. I remember
What got
eating
to do with
ants
anything?
and
You
shit.
ain't poor. You
But
ain't
I
poor.
worked. I got a
poor.
job and I
You're
fucking
poor.
did shit.
You're poor.
And I worked for myself.
You're poor.
I know how to live in Babylon
you
and work for
poor?
myself.
For real.
And I
Come on,
don't work
bro.
for the man. I don't work for the man. I've got
You're
wealth,
poor, though.
but I
You're
didn't
poor,
get it
though.
from the man.
Yeah,
I
but you're
made
poor,
it
though.
myself.
Yeah, but you're poor. You're
Yeah.
poor. Yeah, but you're
I
poor.
started out poor, just like anybody could.
You know what poor looks like? You know what poor looks like? You got water in your house, right?
I told
got
you
central
when I
heating.
was a kid,
No,
I grew up
wait,
eating
wait,
ants.
wait,
I had no shoes.
wait. You're
I
poor.
had nothing.
You're poor. You're poor.
You're doing that white privilege bullshit.
You're
You
poor.
gotta take a look at my
Look.
parents who grew up in sod houses in the West farm. They grew their fucking house. They built their house out of sod and they worked their
Rocky.
ass off. And so you talk this white privilege bullshit. for to talk that bullshit. I didn't have no privilege. I'd like your privilege card, the one that gives you free shit because you don't have to do shit, and then tell me because I work my ass off, I'm white privileged. Fuck you.
Rocky, can we just take some deep breaths?
Yeah, I'll take some deep breaths. That guy needs to leave me the fuck alone. He's calling me white privilege. He's say that I got all my shit because I grew up in the fucking. My mother grew up in the Depression. They worked their butts off.
Yeah, he said
Sod
some
houses.
no, not really nice things, and I apologize that one of our guests here wasn't nice to you.
Oh yeah. Well, it's everywhere. They make up excuses. They criticize you and call you names and shit. And then when you stick up for God or anything, any principles, the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, I took that literally. I worked. I didn't work for the man. I worked for myself. Just work for yourself, and you can live free. You don't have to. You're in the world. You're in Babylon. Well, you don't have to work with Babylon. You can work on your own. You know, I invested in some land. Shit. Well, first I went to Houston where the city was and had to live in that shithole for 10 years to make my money so I could buy some land. Fuck, Houston's a shithole now. Half the town is, you go in that part of town, you get your ass killed. It's called the blocks, certain blocks. All of them on welfare, all of them on drugs, just getting their little check, having babies so they can get more money. The more babies you get, the more money you get. They're not working. They're just like, you know, the cities are fucked up. But that's where you make the money. You have to go to the make your money there and then get the fuck out. My kids all grew up off grid. They're all in the cities now making money. But they have a place they can go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If times get bad, they can come here.
That's beautiful. You got home base.
You have to plan your future for your kids, not just for yourself. I didn't make this place just for myself. I made it for like-minded people. I don't want no motherfucking lazy motherfucker coming here, thinks he's going to just lay on the couch and not do shit. My kids do shit when they come here. But right now they're making money in the city. This is fucking bullshit. So it doesn't mean I'm white privileged. I started out poor. I just worked hard. Took the Bible serious. Just work hard.
Nice. People paint pictures of people in their head and then they just act accordingly. It's that like satanic energy, that accuser, the opposer, the paint a narrative about you, and I'm going to make it true, whether it's, you know, false or true or not.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy. I feel sorry for the guy that never had a dad. Never had a mother. Yeah, I feel sorry for him. But, you know, my dad didn't care shit about me. My dad was really the pastor that told, I consider him my dad because I listened to his tapes, his free tapes, and I considered him not my father in heaven, but just my pastor. What do you call those people when a mentor? You need a mentor. People don't even know what a mentor is anymore. You know, the young kid that grows up without a father and mother needs a mentor. And that's part of the job of the church and the community.
My dad never wanted kids either. Well, didn't want kids. And so, you know, when I started hanging out with, you know, some of my friends, and this one guy was older, he was a guy from Jamaica, and he was a squash champion. He was teaching me squash, and we were hanging out. He was older, and he was teaching me a lot of things. And I said to him, "You're kind of like, you know, teaching me stuff like my dad." And he didn't like that comment too much. So, but he was, you know, he was kind of like a mentor, someone older, someone great at sports. I became so good at squash, and you know, because I had one in my building that I was renting. So he came over and played with me all the time. And when you play with someone really good, you get really good fast.
Well, I have another mentor, and he was the guy who taught me the law. He went by I can't even find him anymore, but he was from Texas. His name was Taylor, and he went by Richard L. Taylor, and he went by Broadsword. And I was trying to share he made these up for me. I was a student, and he taught me the law. And I met him in Texas, Houston, Texas. He went by Broadsword, like the word of God, like as a sword. He went by Broadsword. His name was Richard Taylor. If he ever hears this, I wish he'd get a hold of me.
Hopefully we're putting that out into consciousness. Let that road, come back to you, right? I like those type of thoughts, man.
He taught me what guns to buy too. We'd go gun shows and shit, and he said, "Buy this fucking gun." Shit, I still got that shit. Holy shit, I like them guns. I guess.
Another mentor of mine was this medicine man, and I used to go with him. We used to go to the forest and grab a tree that was knocked down. He'd tie the chain around it. We'd drag it back to the place where the sweat lodge was. We would have, make the fire and all the rocks, and then people would show up, and we'd have these like sweats, and we'd just like pray and see all these amazing like images and just fascinating energy. And so I used to do that with him every Sunday, help him build, the sweat for everybody that was coming on this reserve. He was like mentored me about, the sweats and some parts of spirituality and going to the forest and grabbing trees and just, teaching me stuff. Right. I think lots of stuff is good and important to learn.
Oh, everybody's been talking about false arrest, false imprisonment when cops harass you. And so this book goes back to the 90s, and he did a compilation on it. Shows but it always goes back to the law of God. So there is something in the law of God on trespassing and imprisonment and slaves and how you treat your servants, your employees.
Public servants.
They called all employees servants back then in the Bible. That for some reason, instead of calling them servants, they call them slaves. They were just servants. Like if you work for an employee, you're basically his slave. If like the government, if they enslave you, well, your rights come from the Bible, and it shows in the Bible how even the people that rule over you are supposed to give you certain, like a day off every 7 days. You get a day off. If they don't, well, then that's you're a slave. You never even get a fucking day off. America gets 2 days off, so I don't know. Maybe they should work 6 days instead of just 5. The lazy bitches teaching you to be lazy and shit.
Well, that's a tough one because they overwork people, right? Things shouldn't be as tough as they are. Squeezing everybody because of the usury. And there should be abundance.
That's in the Bible. It tells you fair wages. You're supposed to give your employees fair wages, and your servants fair wages. Yeah, so they don't do that no more.
It's disgusting. The CEOs take millions of dollars in bonuses while their employees just scrape by. It's disgusting.
And that's what this guy brings together through the Bible. And then he identifies life without usury, because usury is not, you're not even supposed to have usury, but yet the Federal Reserve uses usury. And basically he's identifying the Federal Reserve as breaking God's law. So there you go. That's what we got. That's why we're here, you guys, because they're usury. They're charging their employees taxes on their own income, which is unlawful and usury. Basically, everything the Fed does is usury. They're just using the fuck out of us. Everything they do through taxes. taxes, hidden inflation. And well, no, when they give you too much money, that's hidden inflation. There's more money out there. It's whoever supplies the money, whoever supplies the money supplies everything, man, because they can supply ups and downs in the economy. So if they take away money, you're in a depression. If there's too much money, you're in inflation. Inflation is a hidden tax because the more money is out there, the more it's just it's the more you need to make. And then the unions started, the unions were wicked. They wanted $40 and everybody else was getting paid $10. And then so everybody else has to pay extra. And then, you got to, it's just it's everything they do. You just work for yourself is the important thing.
Yeah.
Work for yourself.
That's what New Guru is saying. Working for someone else is really lazy and foolish. The idea someone else has any real obligation to take care of you. That's quite harsh, but because the way the system, but yeah, and the rights are given by God.
Well,
and,
the system, they made contracts with Social Security, the elderly, and they promised to give us Social Security. They have all the money in the world. They could print money for us, but they don't because they want to get rid of the old people because we're wise, they got to get rid of the old peoples and just give them their Social Security like $1,200 a month when you can't even live off that shit. But they're going to give $5,000 to new migrants a month so they can get in here, but they're going to steal. So the money supply doesn't matter. Whoever dishes the money out, like if you want to support your elderly, you would give them more money. And if you want to, like people that have worked their whole life, and they're now on Social Security that I made contracts with to have paid. And then you say, oh, no. But it doesn't matter because if they wanted to pay us, they could print more money, but they just print money for who? It's always going towards the dark side. Like, why are you printing money for these dark motherfuckers? Why don't you print some money for the wise old men that live in your fucking country?
Squeeze
they want to
everybody.
kill us. They want to
private-
kill us, give us shots, and get us in a nursing home and fucking put us on drugs.
and squeeze all the money at the end, make sick so they can fleece it out. They want people sick and weak, right? So if they make them sick at the beginning by all these bullshit injections that they give to children, then they're sick throughout their life. They have allergies, so they're having to constantly, pay for this pharmakia, sorcery, black magic that they're spit into.
Well, my kids grew up off grid and they drank from my well, which had no fluoride. We have spring water. I have creek water in my backyard. So I got my water taken care of. I got my heat taken care of because I got 40 acres of trees. I got my food taken care of because one of my daughters studies what you can eat in the forest and actually works for the Forest Service. And,
nice.
So, yeah, you can be self-sufficient, but you got to be at one time. You got to stand for something, whether you're in the woods or you're in the city. You can't just let evil go by and.
You can't. I've never been able to do that, man. I've always been a warrior for God and made sure everything around me was, none of that bullshit.
Well, that's my dog. My thumbnail is my dog.
Awesome. What's the name of the dog?
It's a Timber Shepherd. Her name was Liberty.
Timber Shepherd.
Or was that one of her offsprings? I think it might be Gunther. I can't remember. But it's a Timber Shepherd, which is 132nd Wolf, and Czechoslovakia Shepherd, not German Shepherd, but it's a Czech Shepherd and with 132nd, and it's solid black. I had three solid black Timber Shepherds from one of my. I forget what they call when dogs have babies, a bunch of babies. Well, they were beautiful dogs.
And my heritage is from Czechoslovakia.
One of them saved my son from a cougar because my son started running away from it. And that's the last thing you want to do from a cougar. You don't want to run. You want to scare it as much as you can. I mean, they're scared of dogs and they're scared. So they're naturally scared of dogs. So my dog held it off while my son ran home. And I always tell my kids to take the dogs with them in the woods because we got cougars, bears, grizzly bears. We got cougars. We got actually wolf packs around here, but they don't bother. The only reason a wolf pack would come around here is to mate with one of my dogs, probably.
Do you want to hear a cool bear story?
Yeah.
So me and my buddies, they were, taking me to this place out through the bush, and it was around some people's land and up the river, and we had to go up this mountain to go get to this area. And as we're going there, all of a sudden we hear this rustling and we see this like baby bear. And this baby bear is like, curious to sees us, and then walks over in front of the pathway that we have to walk and climbs up a tree just beside us, and is hiding in the tree because the baby was kind of scared of us, but it was no leaves on the tree. So we see this giant thing. It's like pretending it's hiding up in the tree. And then we see the mother, and then all of a sudden we start to see all the other cubs. There was the mother there was with 4 cubs, and there was the one cub that was in the tree, and we have to go straight. We're not sure what to do. There's 3 of us, right? Quite, large guys. And we're just like waiting there as the mother's walking back and forth with the other cubs, walking back and forth because the other one went. So my buddy knew this, that lived in the area, knew this conservation officer lady that he called, and he said, we're here in this thing and we just saw 5 cubs. And she says that's very rare to ever see because a bear usually has, 1 or 2, maybe 3. So to have 5, the one must have adopted some other bear cubs, right? So we're not sure what to do, right? We're all like joking and around and waiting, and then finally that cub comes down and goes that way, and the mother and the cubs are that way. So we're not sure what to really do, but as the cub went that way, the mother and the cubs went this way. So we just went right through, and we didn't end up seeing them, but we ended up seeing a mother with 5 cubs, and it was like a rare thing. It's a rare thing.
Maybe after hunting season, one mother would take care of 5 cubs that got their parents killed or something.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Is
my dogs used to tree little bears, black bears all the time. But black bears, my dogs would tree them. And then when we first got here, they'd go out and fight cougars to get them away from our land. But they never encountered a grizzly bear now. But we do have grizzlies around here. I've heard of them, but I haven't seen one yet myself. I've seen a brown bear, but I hope them grizzlies stay the fuck away from here. I'm ready for the grizzly. I always carry a 357 with me when I go to the woods because that'll take a grizzly out.
Do you have any like solar power? Do you have any like rivers that you can do any hydro? Like how do you have some off-grid energy and you turn out the lights?
I have
hydro.
Nice.
Good for
creek
you.
in my backyard with hydro. The hydro's broken, but I got a new one that's made in America, the best one made.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's Scott. It's called Scott Hydro. He's from the North Selkirk Mountains. It's got lots of creeks up here.
Well, I'm glad
I got
you
a
stayed.
creek in my backyard. I got a creek that's cedar. It's called Cedar Creek because there's a bunch of old cedar growth that's like 100 years old, and it's still good because it's cedar. It can last in the water
Have you tapped into any of the trees and like, where you put like this little tube and it collects
No, we
water?
haven't done that. We'll do that in emergency if we have to, because
Yeah,
we've
it's good.
got
It's good for vitamins that are in the tree too, right? So maybe we get to figuring that one out.
white birch, so it'd be white birch syrup.
Oh, sweet.
We don't got maples, but we got white birch. You can do the same with white birch. Yeah, the locals think white birch is a weed tree. It's a hardwood, but nobody does hardwood mills around here. They do softwood, so they consider it a weed tree, but it's a hardwood. But you have to dry it different than you would pine. Yeah, so it takes a little more skill to bring it to a white birch plank, which is furniture grade hardwood, which they do. You can make furniture. So they make hardwood floors out of white birch, hardwood. But a lot of the forest industry, which is where I live in the forest industry area, they only like work for the government nowadays mostly, and they don't give a shit about the white birch, but it's a hard grade furniture grade wood. Is actually more valuable when dried. Purpose.
You're a nice man, Rocky.
Yeah, I used to make furniture for a living. That's what I did in Houston. I made custom built hardwood furniture and stuff. Stuff like people would get a picture from Architectural Digest, and they would show me that picture, and then I'd duplicate it in my shop and shit like that. Houston had a lot of oil money, so I could make money in Houston, but where I'm living now, you can't really make money. You just have to live on your own. Kinda.
Yeah, I used to work for a pipeline company, and then I worked for an oil company, and then they wanted to offer me a full-time position, and I said no because I didn't like what the oil is doing to the earth.
Well, Flo said he heard of a guy, MK Ultra or something, and he had to put your head in a microwave for a second, and it kills the chip.
What?
I forget who had a guest on that talking about some MK Ultra. What was his handle was something about a poem. Party poem. Poet. I think it was on, who was that guy? Anyway, he was talking. I think it was MTL. I don't know. Anyway, he was talking about how he was an MK Ultra his whole life. He grew up in MK Ultra as a mind slave and shit. And he said the way you had to get the chip out of your head is stick it in a microwave for 1 second.
Yeah, like that's the stupidest thing.
and then he said you do it to each part of your body for 1 second. You stick your hand in there, and then you stick but it takes time to recover when you do it to your brain. So, and then anyway, he sounded like it could be something.
Microwaving your head is not advised.
Because I was in the military, and I remember when I got out once, I was at this bar, and this bouncer hit me in the head up against the wall because I was being a pain in the ass, or I was drunk or something. And then they took me to the emergency room, and now I got some kind of fucking shit, like a bump on my head. I wonder if that day they put a chip in my head or something, follows me around or something. Shit, I think I might be MK Ultra.
Well, the world is MK Ultra, right? So, through all the programming, mind control, through all the frequency, subliminal messages in the music, and all
Yeah.
kinds
I
of
put my
MK.
faith in Jesus, and I go by his word, because his
Good for
word
you.
is, it's got more wisdom in it than, and I've got to argue with God's word. Like, I know more than he does and shit. So I trust that, that there's no weapon formed against me that can prosper. So if there
I
is a
love
chip
it.
in my head, it doesn't work on me.
I like that. Good attitude.
All right. You guys, I guess you were going to say goodnight or something. Where'd everybody else go?
Well, I don't know. It just you and Simon got into it, and Cynthia and Joe split. So that makes me feel really sad that
Simon,
that
was that his
transpired
name?
that way.
Simon, that guy that
Yeah,
was arguing.
he's a lawyer from the UK. He does like contract law or something, but he's I think he comes here drunk and then picks, like, because when he's not drunk, he's not so
He's
he
making
just
money off contract law, and that's why he said he wants to look at my finances, like,
yeah, that's just
trying to
being
prove that he's
ignorant
more
to
wealthier than me or something, because he does
cares what
contract.
your finances are.
Yeah, you can
Especially
make money on contract
in
law.
this B system, just the same as IQ. IQ just means indoctrinated.
Hmm. So he's working for the man in contract law.
Lawyer too, right? So
Lawyer.
he's
I trust
so-
him very. I trust his fucking.
usually, yeah, he's been
Like,
respectful
that's a
to me.
badge or something, and then he says, "Look how much money I got. I'm a lawyer and shit. I got all this money now. Let me see how is Rock got anything, or is he just some poor guy living on the street or something?" I don't know what his point was, because I think he was asking to see how much money I had or something.
Nitpicking, right? Just finding something to be disappointed in that person about. It's not a healthy attitude to have.
Yeah, I feel sorry for that guy. He does need a daddy.
I was gonna suggest to him that there's someone that likes to be called that you should probably watch.
It's like,
I don't usually suggest that to much people.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I didn't mean to get on that guy's nerve, man.
All good, man. It's been 3 hours. I'm fasting for Passover, right? So I'm
retired. Retired. I don't have to do
I,
shit all day, so I just get on here and just
have fun.
fucking, I study,
Yeah.
and it seems like I remember these things coming up that everybody's getting involved in right now, like the getting arrested and what the cops are doing and shit.
Good for you, man.
So
That's
that's why I
important to
brought
know
these
that
up.
stuff, because we need to know how to stand on our square, and the more people that are like doing that, that's one thing that some people are suggestible, but the ugliness is so hard to want to suggest people that way.
Okay. Good night. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great night. Thanks for coming up.
All right.
Well, that was fascinating, interesting. We've got I don't know, 60 on Rumble. So I don't know, 116 people here or something. It was a great conversation, and then it just got nitpicky, and I'm really sad. So I apologize to Joe and Cynthia for, being not talked nice to, right? So I'm sad that you left, but you all have a great night. Hope you got out of this a little bit. Diploma, degree, certified, license, also indoctrinated. The amount of digits one has in their bank account is not a measure of wealth. It's a measure of dependency and insecurity. It's like an enslavement scorecard. Spot on. I think an enslavement scorecard. So 3 hours and 9 minutes. So hopefully you're all having an awesome, Easter weekend. Appreciate you spending some time here with us. I haven't eaten since Thursday at around probably 6 p.m., maybe 7. I didn't calculate the last meal, but I'm looking Monday. My buddy who asked me to fast for Passover with him, He's gonna said he's gonna eat Monday, and for me, I think I'm going all day Monday because last time I water fast, I did a few 3-day water fasts, and then I hear it's the 4th day that some extra juice kicks in. So this is the coming towards the end of day 2. But yeah, 4 minutes wouldn't be half. I guess that would be 16641 1/6. Great job keeping the peace. Thanks. I don't know. Somebody was like getting angry at me saying, keep control, take control. It's just like, I just hear people out, I guess, for a little bit, but I'm sad that it, was too ugly for our other guests. So appreciate that that you came here. Thanks, Cynthia and Joe, for coming and hanging out. Thanks for saying I kept the peace. There's lots of people out there that want to embody something ugly, and they get good people to embody that ugly with them, and it's like it's not so pleasant to see that ugliness, but people, I guess, have got to look back on how they are and how they treat others, and I think that is really important. Just chalk it up to learning. Love that you like to keep this as a safe space for meaningful discussion. Thanks, man. I'm trying, man. I don't like personal attacks and stuff, and that got out of hand really quick. So always learning to do better, to be better, just to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday. This life is definitely a learning experience, and learning to love. God is love, so the more that you know love, the more that you know God. And so the most important thing is to embody it, right? Be the God that you want to see in the world. Be the love you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. It's one thing to say things to people what they should or shouldn't do, and they're doing this and that, and just judging and nitpicking on people, right? But that only is a show of who you are. You show the world that that's who you are, and that's what you embody. And when you embody that type of energy, then you get invited less, or even get invited at all, because sometimes that energy, we have to protect our space from it, right? As much as we love and care and want you to do better, if that energy is toxic and causes toxicity, then we have to also think about protecting the whole. Some people tell you like communitarianism, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the whole. That's what they say is communitarian, but not communitarian. It's just like, I guess, natural law, right? You want to live in natural law, I guess. The best you shoulders, the you shoulders, the ones that say you, this is you, I'm gonna tell you about you when I just met you. It's not cool, Simon. Not cool, man. So sad that this thing all got twisted. But tomorrow's a new day to do better, to be better. Sending love to y'all. For one love, one heart, one life. Namaste, everybody, and no maske.